Hi students, good evening. Welcome to this video session. My name is Samuel Dominic Chukwu Emeka, aka Samdom for Peace. In this video session, we shall discuss conditional statements in Python. I already have the Codio open, so I'm gonna go ahead and open the PyCharm software, and I will go ahead and get the notepad, and this notepad we are going to call it conditional statements. So we are going to save our code there, and I can go ahead and as this is loading, I have open a new folder on the desktop. And this new folder would be our the new folder, we can call it our Python exercises. So this was what we did yesterday, numeric and string expressions. I'll put it here, and of course I'm gonna put this one here too. Okay, so we'll close this, and we are done with this. I'm just gonna come here and right click, new Python file, and call this conditional statements. So in case if you need this, just let me know. If you need this, let me know. With conditional statements, let me do a quick introduction, and then we can go to these exercises. Conditional statements are very, very important. They're very important. For example, let's say probably you go to a restaurant. Some restaurants, when the child is you're going with your children, and if your child is maybe the restaurant has a maybe discount for children, or they might just say children eat free. Maybe children under 10 years eat free. So when the cashier asks, what's the age of your child, and she puts it in 10 years, then it is free. So that's the condition. If age of child is less than 10, then fee is $0. You also see that sometimes for seniors over 55 years. If age of customer is greater than 55, then maybe fee is regular fee minus $5, or just or 20% off regular fee, or something like that. Or for the military too, you see that for the military as well. So it's based on conditions. It's based on conditions. If this is this, then perform this action. If this, now sometimes you probably have multiple conditions. If this is this, do this. If else if, do this. Else if this is this, do this. Else if this is this, do this. Then the last part will now be else, which means if it doesn't fit any of those conditions you listed, then do the last part, else. So it's basically with if else, with conditional statements in Python, the first it it's just a statement that expresses that performs an action due to a condition. That's what it is. Okay, statement that performs an action based on a condition, or some conditions. Perform this action based on this condition. Another thing is admission to pack. Admission to pack. Some people, if you're a member of maybe this non-profit organization, then pack is free, or you have discount. Or if you're a member of this organization, teachers union or educators organization, then this discount 10% off. So if but it's based on if this is this, then do this action. So the first part is the if. When you have if, just use it for one condition. If you have if only, sometimes you just write only one condition. If this is this, then do this. You don't need to put else. So sometimes you don't. Another part you have is the if-else. If-else. You also use it for one condition. If this is this, do this. Else, do this. Else do this. You use it only for one condition. But sometimes you might have multiple conditions. If this is this, do this. Else if this is this, do this. Else if this is this, do this. Else is this, else. I'm sorry. Else if this is this, do this. Okay. So if if this grade of student is above 9, greater than or equal to 90, grade equal to A. Else if grade is between from 80 to 89, grade is B. Else if score is not grade, I'm sorry, score. Okay, so if score is greater than or equal to 90, then grade is A. Else if score is between 80 to 89, okay, both inclusive, grade is B. Else if, so you do it, you put the condition, do it, you put the condition, do it, you put the condition. That is multiple conditions. So, and in Python, we use it as elif. So we have if for the first guy, then elif. Okay, you use it for multiple conditions. So conditional statement is something we've experienced a lot in our daily lives. There's always some condition. There's always, if you're involved with anything discount or some privileges, being a member of this, there is a program we use. Programmers use it a lot in codes, a lot. So when the cashier puts it in, it takes away the discount for you. Use it for multiple conditions. Another one, you can also have if-elif, then else. Use it for multiple conditions. So these are technically what we have in Python. Now, another thing we have in Python, and that came up in Python 2.5, I think, Python 2.5 and above, is the conditional expression. It was an argument, or let me say debate. People said they want a way to write conditional statement uh, easily, easily. And that is where we have conditional expression. We are going to talk about that also tonight. Conditional expression. It came up, I think they started using it from Python 2.5 and above. Let me say this as we move on. I'm going to come here and just go ahead and open my, you can go ahead and open my website, chukwemekasanya.com. Technology. And this brings us to Python. In the resources here, this is the Python standard library. This library should be your reference always, always, always. And you know, we are going to use it tonight also. It should always be your reference. As you can see, these are the versions. These are the versions we have so far. So this is important. It should be a reference always. So we will use it. You can just type conditional expressions here, and then you read. It pulls a lot of stuff. Actually, let me do this with Bing. How about it? Let me do this on Bing. In Bing. Let's see whether it's gonna be probably bigger. So let me just do it in another browser. So conditional expression, and you see several stuff. It has a lot of stuff, and you can just go to Google or Bing and just type in conditional expression and read about it. That's another thing you could do. Conditional expressions and read about it. So yeah, this is what's new in Python 2.5. This is conditional expressions. We are finally added to the language. So you just read about it. A lot of this should be your go-to. You know, it's a lot of documentation anyway. But this is the conditional expression right here. We could just write all this in a single line. So we'll talk about that also tonight. Conditional expression, we use it for one condition. Use it for one condition. Okay, so far this is what we have in Python. They might add more because computer science and technology is something that it changes all the time. So as at the date and time of this recording, so far this is what we have. So let's now the thing about the conditional statement, you know, well as we go on, I will talk more about it. You write if, then you write the condition, then you put a colon. You put a colon, then you write the action to be performed. You write the action to be performed. Okay, that's the way we write it. So later you can read all this. You can read it. Later you can read it. Run code. Next. Later you can read all this. You can read it yourself. Run code. Okay. So you write if, you specify the condition, and you put colon, and then you write the action to be performed. You can read all this on your own. Let's go to solving. Okay, indentation. Good. Now, indentation is important in Python. What indentation? What you use it in conditional statements. You also use it when you write functions, classes, and the rest of them. We shall come to that later on. But in this conditional statement, we are going to use it. We indent uh, uh, also for loops. Also, we indent. The indentation meaning that with Python, um, we don't write everything on, like for the conditionals. I know in the previous video we just did numeric and string expressions. That one, there's no problem with that. We didn't indent. With Python, we indent when we write conditional statements. If you're just writing print statements like we did last time, print, like we did last video, we did mainly print statements, joining with the addition or concatenation operator, and then printing it. That one is not a problem. We don't have to indent. We just, print it. You don't indent the print, because it's not that you don't use indentation then. We didn't use it last video. But for conditional statement, when you have several conditions and then the if else, so we indent after the if. We don't indent the if. Okay, you don't indent the if. But then if this condition, if this, you specify the condition, you have to indent here to tell Python, okay, that this action, this command should follow this condition. And then when we come to else, we don't indent else. We do not. So we don't indent if, we don't indent elif, we don't indent else. If we don't indent it, else we don't, elif we do not. So that indentation is just like telling you, okay, if this condition, if this is the condition, if this condition is met, perform this action. So perform the action, you indent that action under if, so that Python will know, okay, this action is for this condition. Okay. As you can see here, so if number is equal to 100. Now, let me talk about this also. Equal. As you can see here is, excuse me. As you can see here is equal. As you can see it here, equal. If number is equal 100, print is 100. Else, print is not 100. So, if you look at this, let me write something very fast and I explain to you. Let's say number equal to integer input what is the number. Okay, then we now say if, and I kind of like writing it on another line, if the condition number equal 100. Now, some people will say, why do I put equal? So we're gonna go back to this Python documentation. I'm gonna go back to it, and I'll search here operators. I'll put operators in Python. Operators. I'm gonna click here, standard operators as functions, and you can see it's a lot to study, and they are still adding more, and they're still adding more. So so these are the operators. When we have equal to, it is equality, equal. That's the way we do it in Python. The equal statement, if we have only one equal sign, it is an assignment statement. If you're using one equal sign, it is not equality statement, no. Equality statement is equal equal in Python. So here, if number equal 100 and you put colon, then this is automatically indented. And the indentation, some people will say use space, some people will say use tab. I've read in some they say use space, in some they say use tab. So you ask me what should be used, I say just do it as with the do it with the software you're using. The software you're using should automatically indent it if it is a good IDE. A good IDE will automatically indent your conditional statements and your loops and your classes and your functions and the rest of them. A good IDE will automatically indent it. However, if you're just writing this with just any Python interpreter that does not indent, then I will say indent one tab. Maybe this is one tab. As you can see here, is one tab. And one tab, I think, is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 spaces. You indent one tab or 4 spaces. That's the thing. Some textbooks will say use tabs. Some textbooks will say use spaces. Well, I've actually read whereby they say space is the better thing to use. Okay, but it doesn't matter. If you're using any Python interpreter, just use one tab key. Press your tab key one time, or press the space key 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So if number is 100, this means it's equal to 100. That's what it means. It's equal to 100. Print is 100. Print is 100. Is 100. Okay, seems print is 100. Okay, then else. Now that this, you see, after printing this, else didn't indent. Else, if you look at this here, after I did this, this also had indentation, but it thinks we need to say more things, but no, we don't. So just bring it back here. Else, you don't indent else, and you put colon here, and then print is not 100. Is not 100. Oh yeah, this is string, so put it here. Is not 100. Okay, so this is just a simple conditional statement, if else. Okay, we run this. Let's go ahead and run this. This is under numeric expressions, but we want it to be conditional statements. So I'm gonna come here, run. I go to run, and I select conditional statements. That's what I want to run. What is the number? 50. It's not 100. You see that? Okay. For some reason this, okay, so as you can see, number is not 100. If I do it again, if I run it again, because you can also run from here, what's the number, and I say 100, now it's 100. You see that? So just a simple conditional statement. As you can see, the action is indented. Action is indented. Okay, here we will provide you with a number. If n is equal to 100, output hit. Otherwise, output miss. So, you know what? I'm going to be copying this. If you want, we will oh, this is not good. Anyway, some questions I will put it, but this one is not a problem. You can be writing the questions and saving it later on, because I'm still gonna save all these. So this is the question here. We now write our code. If n equal 100, put the colon, print hits, else, otherwise, which is the else, print miss. And that is it here. That is it. Check it. Okay. Now let me get, let me see what I can do here. I'm gonna copy this here. Copy. Before I do that, let me get this. I've written this already, so let me cut it and I'll paste it here. Let me call this example 1. Example 1 that we just did. And this will be example 2. Example 2. So if n is equal to 100, output this, otherwise output that. So you already know how we did it. So as we write this, we can comment it. We can comment this right away. You just go to code and you go to comment with line comment. It comments the whole thing. And you can just copy this here. Your code goes here. You can just copy it and paste it here. For example 3. Before you now do again example, this for example 2, before you do example 3. So I mean, it's just nice to save your codes. Just nice to save it. I'm gonna be just save any one that I really need to talk about. Now, since we talked about this, now let's go ahead and illustrate this with, this is saying n is this. So I'm gonna put n. I'm gonna put n equal to int input what is the number? Okay, now let's go ahead and illustrate this with conditional expression. Let's go ahead and talk about conditional expression right away. Conditional expression. With the if-else, you can also write, you see how this is 4 lines of code. 1, 2, and it says here print is not a multiple of 4. As you can see, if this is underlining this, that's fine. Just push this here, press 1 tab key. It's because I copied it from Codio. Okay, so the underline is gone. Now, this is 4 lines of code. With the conditional expression, you just write it only 1 line of code. Actually, because you first of all write n. You first of all write n here. Okay, you write n first. Let me actually copy this. Okay, and then I paste it here. You first of all write n. So actually, this 4 lines of code for the conditional statement 1, 2, 3, 4. You can write it in only 1 line of code using conditional expression. And this is the way we write it. We'll write print hit if n equal 100, else print miss, else print miss. That is it. Just one line of code. That's it. With the conditional expression, you see how easy it is. All these 4 lines of code, you have it in only one line of code with the conditional expression. So if you run this now, what's the number? The number is 100. Hit. Then this is asking you for the next number. Like for this particular example, example 3. What's the number? And I put 100. Hit. You see that again. So all these 4 lines of code is just in one line of code. That's it. You see. So that's the conditional statement. That's the conditional expression. This one is if-else. Now, conditional expression must have the if-else. Must. Now, here the if you can have only the if n equal 100, print hit. Let's do that if you have only the if. So let me just copy this and I'm gonna paste it here. But with the conditional expression, it has to be if-else. It has to be if-else. But example 4, let's do example 4. You can have only if. You can have only if. Which means else, it will not do. If n equal 100, print hit. And that is it. You can have it only this, like this. And we run this. What's the number? If the number is 50, it will not execute anything. It will not. Because the number is not 100. Because you said if it is 100, then print hit. But you did not say, what if it is not 100? You didn't say it. So Python will not execute anything. You see that? Let's run it again and we put 100. Now it prints hit. You see, this is only the if. This is only with the if statement. Okay? Only the if statement. I'm gonna go ahead and paste it here. And like I said if you want this, let me know. Okay. Let's continue here. Next. Not equal. Not equal is exclamation mark and equal. Not equal. Okay, it's called difference here. But it's NE, not equal. Not equal. NE, not equal. This is greater than or equal. This is greater than. So not equal in Python is exclamation mark, then equal. So we will pass you a string. If the string is not equal to bingo, output missed. Otherwise, output hit. Okay? So if string is not equal to bingo, then put colon, print missed. Then else you indent it, because you're telling Python, okay, that this print missed is for this condition. That's why you indent it. Else you put this colon, print hit. Okay, check it. There you go. Yay, thank God. Next. Now, multiple conditions is elif. We use elif to do multiple conditions. We've talked about it. Okay. Here they want us to fix the errors, fix the broken code on the left. There is more than one error. Be absolutely sure to make sure you test both cases. String being equal to there and then not equal. Else, put the colon here. Put colon. If string is equal to there, print 0, else print 1. And if you want to test this, in a PyCharm, that's fine. You can do it. But I think this is the thing here. Oh, wow. What happened? Oh, syntax, if string equal to the invalid syntax, if string equal to oh, equal, I'm sorry, equal. This should be equal because that's the double equals is the equal sign. So you check it again. You check it. Okay. So the double equal is the equal sign. You see, even I make mistakes too. You see, everybody makes mistakes. But the main thing is you fix it, you check it, and you correct it. And if this didn't give you, if the Codio feedback is not working, you can use this. If you use this right away, you see, if you use PyCharm, let's say if you use PyCharm, let me use PyCharm now. See what I'm talking about. So, if you use PyCharm on this, okay, it says print. It's not a multiple of 4. Okay, the indentation is not correct, so I go ahead and indent it right away. Now, this here, if I put only for PyCharm underlines it right away that is red. It underlines it already. Hey, if you point it to colon expected, well, we put colon, but then if it points it that is red, just know that it will not run, period. Just know it won't run. And we didn't even use string first. Like, we didn't use, what is str? Str, you can ask the user to input it. But this, I just want to show you something, with PyCharm. If you see this immediately and there is red, just know it won't work. Okay. But let's go ahead and continue. Next. Fix the broken code on the left. It should be fix the broken code on the left. There could be one or more errors. Okay, if string equal to bingo, then put the colon, print missed, else print hit. This should be it. Check. So when you hit check here, looks like what they want us to do. They say program failed for input X bingo. Okay, so I think what they want is if string is not equal to bingo, expected output is missed. Because this is X bingo. If they put X bingo, then the expected output should be missed. But my program output is hit. So let's put this as if string is not equal to bingo, because X bingo is not equal to bingo, then it should print missed. Okay, so check it now. Yo, it worked. So if string is not equal to bingo, print missed, else print hit. You are provided with a number input, which will be either 1 or 0. If the number is 1, output on. If 0, output off. As you can see here, we didn't have otherwise. All these statements we've been having otherwise. The statements we had before, we had otherwise. Otherwise, output hit. That is the otherwise they mean here is the else. Is else. So, in this case, they just said if the number is 1, output on. If 0, output off. That is your Boolean algebra. Boolean algebra, 0 is off, 1 is on. You find that in your electronics. In your computer, in your switches, 0 and 1. Okay, so this is not if-else. This is if-elif. 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 Let's write this here first. Let's go ahead and write this here. Okay, this should be example 5. If-elif. If number, if number is 1, output on. Let me just go ahead and copy this here. If 0, output off. So it didn't say otherwise, output off. It didn't say that. It did not say that. So this is not if else. It's if-elif. So first of all, let's get the number. Number is integer input pick a number, either 0 or 1. 0 or 1. Okay, if number equal 1, print on. Print on. Print on. Else print off. Okay, let's run this. Pick a number 0 or 1. Now trust me, some people will pick, let me put a colon here. For now, let's pick 1. I like putting a space here and then putting 1. It doesn't matter for numeric. However, for string, it matters. I'm going to show you something later on. So 1 is on, so this works. Now, what if I pick a number 0 or 1 and I pick 0, it's off? Good, it works. Now, some people, you tell them pick a number either 0 or 1, they will say 30. You tell some people, do this or this. They will not do it. They will do another thing you tell them not to do. Okay, so pick 30. And then it says off. Okay, because I put else. Mr. C, you're carried away. This is not what they want us to do. Because they put else. No. Mr. C is carried away. Okay. So this is not what I want. This is not what I want. Okay? Don't mind me. I'm doing it, just to get you back on track. So this is not what I want, else. It's not, because the question says if the number is 1, output on. If 0, output off. The question didn't tell us, what if the number is 30? It just told us 0 or 1, period. So we don't want that else. We want it elif. So we come here, we write elif. Elif, put the condition, number equal 0. Print off. You see, we didn't have if-else this time. We did not. So this is if-elif. For 2 conditions. For multiple conditions, use if-elif or if-elif-else. Some questions will say, okay, if it's 1, put on. If it's 0, output off. Else, otherwise, output, not a boolean. You can write that. But this question did not. So this is what they want, if-elif. We run this. Pick a number 0 or 1. If we put 1, it gives us on, no problem. Run again. Pick a number 0, 1, 0, it gives us off. Now run again. We put 30, and guess what? Nothing happens. Nothing happens because we didn't tell Python what to do if it is not 0 or 1. We did not. So, so that is the thing. So I'm just going to grab this. I'll copy this right away to save time. I copy this, and I come here and I paste it. Yeah, I'm just going to change number to n because that is what they want here. N. Excuse me. elif number, and that's it. Okay, that's it. True or false? We provide you with a string input that is either true or false. You should output a number 1 if true or 0 if false. Okay, that's fine. Now let's go ahead and I want to write this first here before I do this. Example 6. Copy this. This is still if-elif because it didn't say otherwise. It says output a number 1 if true or 0 if false, and the variable here is string. Okay, so I'm gonna say here string, and I will remove this integer. If I just input this. Okay, variable is a string. I will say, is it true or false? That's what I'm just gonna say. Is it true or false? So if string equal true, print 1. This just print 1. 1 is an integer, so you don't put it in as a string. Okay, elif string equal false, print 0. Now it didn't say what if somebody said peace. Here is true, false, or what if somebody says neither. It didn't say what will Python print if it says neither. Okay, let's run this, folks. Let's run it. Now, if I come here and I put true, you see, it didn't execute here. You know why? This is, this kind of something I noticed when I was playing with this. I'm going to write, is it true or false? It should print 1. But here, as you can see, it did not execute. So, I don't know, maybe, I hope PyCharm would probably fix this. I don't know, it's something that maybe I should be able to set. But let's look at this now. I'm going to type this again, and I'm not going to put any space, and I'll type true, and then it will now print 1. So I type true, now it prints 1. But then guess what? I come here, I put a space, and I type true, and PyCharm will not execute it. It will not execute it. So because here I didn't say let me have space. I did not. Let's say I put that space now, and I come here and I put the space and I type true. Now it prints 1. Okay, well, after I put the space here, now let's say I don't put the space and I type true, it doesn't print anything. But then guess what? This is a very bad programming practice to leave this extra space. It's a bad programming practice. So it should be like this. Okay, and when I run it, okay, even if I don't want, it should be that if I run it, I don't care if I just put here and type true. It doesn't matter. It should not matter that even if I put space and type true and press enter, it should still execute. Because some people, they have to press a space key first before they type something. Okay, but PyCharm will not do it. And guess what? It's not only PyCharm. I mean, there are some online Python IDE that still wouldn't do it. I'm going to show you one that I use sometimes. Let's get on Google. Now, you can go to online Python IDE. Online Python IDE. Sometimes I use this replay.it. And Codio, now Codio is also online Python IDE. Okay, the thing is, Kodio already is set up structured for you. So you just click check it. You're not asking for the user input. Now, even with this online Python IDE, I come my type Python 3. Python 3. Now, these folks, I hope they recommend me, right? That I'm using their website. Okay. I write Python 3. Let's go on that. I'm not going to sign up. Just let me click out on this. So let's see now. I copy this. I copy this right now. Because it's not only with PyCharm. I noticed it with this too. Okay, I paste this here and I run. Now, this already has a space key already set with it. So even if I type true here and press enter, it outputs 1. Okay, but guess what? If I run this again, this already has space. If I press one more space and type true, enter, it doesn't execute. See that? It doesn't execute. So this is what I noticed with strings. Now, with numbers, it doesn't matter. Remember, I did it yesterday for the previous video. With numbers, I just put in the number right away. And I put space bar before I put in the number. It will run. You know, it ran. But with string, don't put space. The thing is that with this, it already has space. So it wants you to start typing from here. Now, I don't want to be limited in what I'm typing from, you know. But with PyCharm, you must type it here, true, and then press it before you now say it. So maybe it's something I probably would research on, you know, but if PyCharm happens to, if the folks at PyCharm happens to view this video, please let them fix this so that anybody can come and type in. It doesn't matter. I should be able to type in as many spaces, and if I type in true, it should output something. Okay, so let's continue. If I have true, it should give me 1. If I have false, we will not put any space anymore, because if you put space, it will not output. It is not if you put space and it does not output, it is not a problem with your code. Okay, it is with the IDE that you're using. As you can see, PyCharm does it. rep-el does it as well. So rep-el is that it has a space and it wants you to start typing from here. But if you put your own space again, type it again, it will run. So please let them fix it. Now, when we type false, it will output 0. Okay. Now, if you type something like neither, it will not execute because you didn't put else. Okay, it will not execute. Okay, I'm just gonna copy this right here. Copy. Come here. Paste. Okay, that should be it. Yep. I hope you're learning something. Okay, logical operators, we have several. I mean, in mathematics, we have more than 2 logical operators, and or. But here in this Kodio in Python, we are looking at and or. Maybe later on, you know, when with and or is this. Let me explain this. Let me kind of give you a brief explanation with this. You have more than 2 logical operations. You have more than 2 logical operators in mathematics. For this particular exercise, you're looking at only 2. And statement, which is the conjunction statement, and then or statement, which is the disjunction statement. When you say this, if you say the sky is blue and the sky is not blue, as you can see, that is a contradiction. Is a contradiction. the sky is blue and the sky is not blue. You're contradicting yourself. The sky is either blue or it is not blue. So when you put and the sky is blue and the sky is not blue, it will give you false. It will give you a Boolean of false. Now, some of you will say, why am I saying Boolean? Okay. Boolean operator. Boolean is a class in Python. Bool. B-O-O-L. Bool. Let me copy it. Let me come here and paste this. This should be example 7. So the Boolean algebra okay, we have it as developed by George Boole, and it is 0, 0, and 1, meaning false and true. 0 is false, 1 is true. Or you can say 0 and 1, meaning off and on. So when we have the sky is blue and the sky is not blue, it will output false. It's false. And then another thing I have to put, okay, the class is bool. We call it bool. It's a class in Python, bool. When you have the sky is blue and the sky is not blue, it gives you false. If you have the sky is blue or the sky is not blue, of course, that's true. It's either the sky is blue or the sky is not blue. That gives you true. You do this in logic, in mathematics. Okay, now, with and then or, when we have either way, when we use the word either, okay, we are referring to or. Either or. Just know that, okay, if anybody says, okay, either this could work or this could work, yeah, when you say either, it means or. Okay. So when you're looking at and, it is stronger. It has to join, it has to be for both statements. But when you're looking at or, then it could be either statement. Okay, when you have two statements. So just know that. Let's just go ahead and run this code, okay? Now, we have here fast cars. You are provided with two input values which determine the speed of two cars. If either car is traveling at more than 70, then output fast cars. Otherwise, output okay. So we have else. Otherwise, output okay. I'm going to copy this. I want to write this here in PyCharm. Okay, I want to write it in PyCharm first. Comment this. Okay. Now I have speed 1 and speed 2. Speed 1 and speed 2, and it has to be integers. Okay. So I have speed 1, integer inputs. What is the speed? What is the speed of the first car? Okay. Speed 2, integer input. What is the speed of the second car? Okay. Now, let's look at this. Two input values which determine the speed of two cars. If either car is traveling at more than 70, then output fast cars. Either car, either. So this will be if speed 1 is greater than 70. Okay, because this is an integer, so you don't put it in quotes. It's not a string, so it's an integer. Put or float, put it just like that. Don't put it in quotes. If speed 1 is greater than 70, or because of either car, or speed 2 is greater than 70. Excuse me. Okay, what do you do when that is done? Print fast cars. Print fast cars. Otherwise, this just shows us otherwise output okay, else okay, else print okay, print okay. You see that? Now let's run this. Let's run it. What is the speed of the first car? Let's say 75. What's the speed of the second car? Let's say 60. It should give fast cars, because if either car is traveling at more than 70. Now what if we have this? And as you can see, I even put space for me to put this. If I put 70 for the first car, you see I put space, because this is an integer, it will still work. But if it was a string, like if it was the string, you know, don't put space, just write it like that. If it was that, like what we just did, true or false, just write it like that. What is the speed of the second car? I might say 60. Then I should have okay. Now if I had speed of the second car to be 85, it should put fast cars, because it says either. Okay, so like if I say speed of the first car and I have 70, speed of the second car and I have 85, it should say fast cars because it says either. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna copy this. Come here and I paste it and I check it. Yo, it worked, thank God. Okay, the next one, fast cars too. So let me go ahead now. I'm going to copy paste this here, and then I can do example 8. Example 8. So you are provided with this same thing. Let's copy this. And I'm gonna come here and paste it and comment this out. I can copy this and just go to code, comment with line comments. It comments everything. Okay. Let's do the speed one. Integer input. What is the speed of the first car? Speed 2, integer input. What is the speed of the second car? All right, now let's write our code. If both cars are traveling at more than 70, both cars. Now this is not either car. This is both cars, both of them. So we use and. Okay, if both cars are traveling at more than 70, then output 2 fast cars. Both cars. So if speed 1 is greater than 70, and no longer or, and speed 2 is greater than 70, What do? Print two fast cars. Two fast cars. Okay? All right? Now, if one car only is moving at more than 70, output one fast car. Now, if one car, it didn't tell us whether it's the first car or the second car. It just says if one car is moving at more than 70. So if the first car is moving at, if the speed of the first car is more than 70, and even if the speed of the second car is 20, we need one fast car. If the speed of the first car is 20 and the speed of the speed of the second car is 75, we need one fast car. That's what we want. Okay? Now, so we say we put elif because we still have another one. Otherwise, output no fast cars. So that would be another distance. That would be another condition. So we use elif. We have more than one condition here. So elif speed 1 is greater than 70. Okay. Speed 1 is greater than 70. And speed 2 is less than or equal to 70. Okay, we have to consider that. Okay, or we put or. Now, because of this, we have to put parentheses. We're considering two conditions. It could be that speed 1 is greater than 70 and speed 2 is less than or equal to 70. Okay, or speed 1 is less than or equal to 70 and speed 2 is greater than 70. Only one fast car. So we put this and we put this. Okay. Maybe there might be another way to write this, but let's kind of write this first and see. We probably can have another method. If you want me to write another method, I can. But I want you to kind of understand this. So if only one car is moving at more than 70, which means it could be car 1 or car 2. So if car 1 is moving at more than 70, well, we have to also consider car 2. Then car 2 probably is not moving at more than 70. Because otherwise, if both cars are moving at more than 70, we have two fast cars. But if the first car is moving at more than 70, and car 2 is not, or and the second car is not, or the first car is not, and the second car is, then we print one fast car. Okay? Otherwise, output no fast cars. Now, otherwise meaning that speed 1 is less than 70 and less than or equal to 70, and speed 2 is less than or equal to 70. So this otherwise, I know we've been saying otherwise, we use else. But in this case, we still have to use elif. We still use elif. Elif, speed 1 is less than or equal to 70, and speed 2 is less than or equal to 70. Then print no fast cars. Okay, so I know that some of you might say, okay, this is really do you understand? I hope you understand this. Let's test it first and see how it works, because that is the idea. The idea is, okay, if both cars the main thing is, okay, any speed greater than 70 is a fast car. That's the idea. And if it is 70 or less than 70, then it's not. That's the idea. Okay, so let's say speed of the first car is 85, speed of the second car is 79. Two fast cars. Okay, that's the first case. Second case, speed of the first car, let's say is 71. Speed of the second car, let's say is 69. You only have one fast car. The second case of the other scenario of the second case, let's say we have 69 and 71. It's still one fast car. And then let's say we have 62 and 69. No fast cars. So I think this is what the question is asking about. But we're gonna copy it and paste it and see and run it. Now I hope you understand it. Yo, it worked. Yo, thank God it worked. Yeah. Okay. Okay, this is another one. Let's go ahead now. Paste this here. And the next one will be example 9. You are provided with a person's age and you need to determine which school level the person falls within. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this, paste it here, and I'm going to comment. I'm gonna go ahead now and comment this, comment it. Okay, so we have age as the integer. Okay, so age is integer input. What is the age of the person? Okay, if 6 to 11 output primary school, so if now if 6 to 11, so between 6 and 11 years inclusive, so if 6 is less than or equal to age less than or equal to 11, what do? Print primary school. Okay, then we have elif, because we have another condition. If 12 to 18, print secondary school. So 12 less than or equal to age less than or equal to 18. Print secondary school. Okay? If neither, then output not applicable, NA. All right, now, we've said otherwise, then put else. But in this case, this neither or the otherwise that we just did in the example 8, we are considering these scenarios. It's not just like, we use else if we see that there is nothing else. Okay, because, some of you might say, okay, I've been saying if you see otherwise, then put else. It's not a general rule, no. Otherwise means if it doesn't fall in the first condition or the second condition or the third condition, then you now use that. You mustn't use else. You must not. You can still use elif. You can still use if-elif. Actually, if you're using more than one condition, use if-elif. If you're using multiple conditions. In this elif, why I'm not going to use else? Because if we use else, that means it might not consider everything. Okay, I'm still going to use elif in this. That, okay, what if the person is less than 6 years? Or what if the person is greater than, what if the person's age is less than 6? the person is less than 6 years old or more than 18 years old. That's why I'm considering this. So else if, which is elif, if age is greater than 6, or age is less than sorry, if age is less than 6, I'm sorry. Wait. Excuse me. Okay. Else if age is less than 6 or age is greater than 18, okay, then print not applicable. NA. Print not applicable. Does that make sense? Okay. Now let's test it, folks. Let's test it. And please, there might be other ways, like I'm doing this video as a guide. You can write, you can try other way. If you just do it, you type code, then you test it. If it works, good. You're a programmer. Okay, what is the age of the person? For some reason, I like to press the space key. Yeah. Okay, this will work because it's integer. It will work for integer or float. What is the age of the person? Let's start with the first case. If 7 is primary school. Okay, let's do the second case. What is the age of the person? Let's say 12, secondary school. Okay. What is the age of the person? Let's test this both ways. If I say 3, not applicable, or I can say 21, not applicable. All right, so I'm gonna copy this right here, paste, check it. Yo, gracias el señor. Gracias el señor. Okay, Boolean. You have used Boolean values before. Okay, you can read this. You can read it. You can read all this. You can read it. You can read this. Now, let me say something here. You have to be kind of careful, when you define a Boolean and it's false, then that means here, if is code, print shiver, else print sweat. So what does this mean? If is code here means it's true, then print shiver. That's what it means. I'm sorry, no. Sorry, is code is false. Okay, so here, if is code means if false. If false, print shiver. Else, print sweat. Here, has jumper is equal to true. If not has jumper, print buy a jumper. Else, print put it on. Okay, so this means, this here, if not has jumper means if it is false, because the has jumper is true. You understand what I'm saying? Here is code is false. So this means if false, print shiver. Else, which means true, print sweat. Here, has jumper is true. If not has jumper means if it is false, because has jumper is true. If it is false, print buy a jumper. Else, print put it on. Okay? So that's the explanation here. So you can read up the rest. We provide you with a number n. If n is greater than or equal to 100, output a Boolean true, otherwise false. Okay, so this is if n is greater than or equal to 100, print true. print true, else, in this case, just use else, otherwise, okay, because you either have it as true or false, okay. When you have just one condition, you have only one condition, is if else. Otherwise, print false, okay. All right, the next one, we pass in two Boolean inputs, cold and rainy. You should output a single string, cold or warm, and rainy or dry, based on these inputs. Cold or warm means you should use one of the two words, depending on the input Boolean value. For example, false true is equal to warm and rainy. Okay, let's write this with Boolean inputs. I'm gonna cut this, come here, paste it, save it, Control S. Example 10. Okay, conditional statement with Boolean inputs. So we have the first, let's use here, is cold is true and is rainy is true. Okay, so I'm gonna use what they have. Is cold is input, is it cold? Is it cold? Just say true or false, okay, because this is Boolean input. Okay, is it cold? Just say true or false. Say true if it is cold and false if it is not. Is it cold? Just say true or false. Okay, say true if it is cold, or false if it is not. If it is not cold, there's a maximum length that Python wants in one line, but but I've not exceeded it though. Okay, let's, like, I'm gonna comment this. How about it? I'm gonna comment this. Cut. I'll comment this. Put it as comment because it's better. Say true if it is cold and false if it is not cold. Okay, and then the next one is what? Is rainy. So this is equal to true. We put it as Boolean to be true. For some, we put it as Boolean to be true. Equal, yeah, equal, true. Okay, equal, true. That's equal, true. Not assigning it, but equal, true. Okay, then the next one we have is rainy. Is rainy. Is it rainy? Is it rainy? Just say true or false. Okay, say true if it is rainy, or false if it is not rainy. Well, if it is true, I think they want warm and dry. Okay, so they want warm and dry, cold or rainy. Okay, so say true if it is cold, or false if it is warm. Okay, because sometimes it will not be warm, it will not be cold, it will not be warm. It just depends. It could be hot. But they want cold, warm, and then rainy and dry. If it is dry. Okay, say true if it is rainy, or false if it is dry. All right, now what do they want? I'm gonna copy this. You should, we pass in, I'll copy this whole thing here. Copy. Actually, let me comment it here. I'll comment this whole thing. Comment, code, comment. And then all right, let's see here. 1, 2. That's okay. Let's now write our code. You should output just one single string based on these inputs. Okay. Now we have if is code, because his code is true. His code is true. Okay. If is code and is rainy. Is rainy. If is code and is rainy, print print code and rainy, because what they want is in this, they want warm and rainy. The output should be something and not or. You can either have cold or warm, and then you have rainy or dry, but your output should be cold and rainy, or cold and dry, or warm and rainy, or warm and dry. That is your output. So if it's cold, which means it's cold is true, and it's rainy is true, then print cold and rainy. Okay. We have more than one condition, so we use elif. Elif, if it's not cold, not is cold, we say not is cold. we will say it's not cold. No. We say not is cold. Like if it is not cold, okay, and it's rainy. It's not cold, but it's rainy. What do you do? Print what? Warm, because it's not cold. Warm and rainy, because it's rainy. Okay. Elif is cold and not is rainy. Not is rainy. Is cold and not is rainy. What do you do in that case? Print cold and dry. Okay. Elif not is cold and not is rainy. What do you do then? Print warm and dry. Yeah, that is it. Because is cold is true and is rainy is true. You know, that's because of the way they defined it here. Now, you can write this a whole other way. You can. Now, why we are writing this like this is because we, in the question, they want us to specifically say that is code means true. They want us to do that. Otherwise, we could define the 4 variables: is cold, is warm, is rainy, is dry. We could do that also. Yeah, but we are writing this because of the way they want it. All right, let's run this. Let's go ahead and run this. Is it cold? Just say true or false. Now, if you put space and say true, you know what, let me say this, just say true or false. Let me go ahead and comment it. I'm gonna cut it. Okay, cut it. I'll cut it and just paste it here as comment. I think it's much better doing it as comment. And I'll do the same thing here. Comment it. Okay. So I'll run this again. Is it code? Okay, just say true or false. Now, if you put space and write true, it will mess this up, honestly. So just we write it no space. Okay, like I said before. Is it rainy? True, true. Cold and rainy. Yay! Cold and rainy. Okay, let's test the second part. Is it cold? False. Put false. Is it rainy? True. Okay, that is warm and rainy. Yay! Is it cold? Put true. Is it rainy? Put false. Okay. Cold and dry. Yay! Is it cold? Put false. Is it rainy? Put false. Warm and dry. Yay! Yup, yup, yup. Gracias, el Señor. Thank God. So we come here and we put this right here. Okay? Check it. Yay! 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 Thank you, Jesus Christ. Thank you, God. Okay. So next. Oh yeah, we are done. We are done. We are done. All right. So I'm gonna come here and copy this. Actually, let me just copy it rather than cut it. Okay. And I'll come here and I will paste it. And then I save this. Control S. I close this. I close this. Are you sure you want to exit? Yes, exit. We are finished running this. We can actually stop it and then close it. Exit. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, folks, for listening to this video session. Watch out for other ones. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And you have a good night.